see that continued now by the Polish Air Force. Clouds of smoke from the pair of Klimov RD-33 turbofans heralding the run-up to full power and then the takeoff roll of a hulking piece of Soviet-era military machinery in the shape of the Polish Air Force's Mikoyan MiG-29A.
Is not as a result of smoke generators but of incomplete carbonization of the fuel. But with the increased temperatures associated when reheat is engaged, the smoke then disappears. So quite a good, in air combat terms, a good indicator of the energy levels of the aircraft if you're fighting it.
Of the Cold War era of this aircraft. It was designed to supplant the MiG-21 and MiG-23 and counter the likes of the then new F-15 and F-16 that were then under development by the US. The MiG-29 prototype took to the air for the first time in 1977. It came into service 6 years later, and one of the main parts of the design ethos was that it was a non-complex and a rugged aircraft with such features as movable intake shields to help prevent the risk of FOD entry on unprepared scripts. Damaged runways. And with this aircraft entering service on 56 Fighter Squadron, that's RIAT Fighter Squadron. This aircraft we knew very little about at the time. Indeed, all we had was grainy black and white photos and some estimations of its turns and other performance features. Aircraft and pilot today coming from the 1st Tactical Squadron of the Polish Air Force, based at the 23rd Tactical Air Base at Minsk Mazowiecki in eastern Poland. There's a second wing of these aircraft, or second squadron of them I should say, the 41st Tactical Squadron at Malbork in the north, which received a batch of ex-German Luftwaffe MiG-29s, themselves inherited from the former East German Air Force, and that deal was done for a symbolic €1.
Great to see this aircraft in NATO service now. I was lucky enough to be involved in the intercept of the first of these aircraft that visited the UK to the International Air Tattoo in 1991 of the then Czechoslovakian Air Force.
Displayed at an air show in the UK. Since then, Czech Republic, both of course become NATO members, so Hungary, a MiG-29 operator for many years, and other countries formerly part of the Warsaw Pact, but now firmly enrolled into the NATO alliance. And as such, there's perhaps something of an irony in these aircraft being engaged in the Baltic air policing mission, as they have been on a regular basis, given that one of the reasons for enhancing those operations in recent times has been saber rattling of one form or another from Russia. Fly-by-wire aircraft would just pull the stick to the aft position and then modulate the power to maintain the angle of attack and the height of the aircraft. But on this, the pilot working very hard using the flight control surfaces and the engine to maintain that slow speed. On in service for some time to come. Poland has signed an upgrade deal that will see at least 16 of its MiG-29s having their service lives extended to around the year 2030. As you see the different silhouettes of the aircraft, there's not a coincidental likeness to the F-15, the F-18 and the F-16, which we believe the aircraft was based on. And a beautiful slow roll there, using all three axes of the flight control system to keep that aircraft level. Beautiful. Soviet frontal aviation, now very much allied within NATO. and put through its paces in typical style by the Polish Air Force. This and the Sukhoi Su-22 fitter attack aircraft, now the only two Warsaw Pact-era Soviet-built types remaining in use with the Polish Air Force. We saw part of its future earlier on in the shape of the F-16C Fighting Falcon. And the final fly past of this display coming up in from our left. I was talking earlier about the very close links with the Polish Air Force in relation to the participation of Polish pilots in the Battle of Britain. Well, the inner tail fins of the Polish MiG-29s used for display purposes have been adorned with renderings of the faces of a number of Polish aviation heroes, many of them from the Battle of Britain. So it is on the aircraft flying for us today, and as it rolls out on landing, you'll be able to see it as it goes past. The man whose face can be seen on this example is one Ludwik Paskiewicz, a Polish fighter ace with 6 confirmed kills in the early part of World War II. He joined the RAF after service with the